Another hand-cut beef tartare here. It's like the best salad in the world because it's made out of meat. It's delicious. Classic for a reason. We're going to make a classic beef tartare. You're welcome to the show. All right, so when building a classic beef tartare, you'll see a lot of videos online of people at these fancy French restaurants, and they come to the table and they're doing everything. There's a reason for that. My name is Dalton Jones. I'm a private chef in Durango, Colorado. So we're going to start with an egg yolk that I have in here. We're going to basically build out a dressing for the beef and then add the beef in at the end, get everything nice and happy, coat everything evenly in those flavors. It also binds the tartare just a little bit. So for our traditional tartare, egg yolk to start, we're going to add in arguably the second most important ingredient, which is some very finely brunoised shallots. This just adds a lot of vibrancy and freshness to the tartare. This is about 8 ounces of beef. So I'm going to do a good teaspoon of these shallots. After that, another very classic, cornichons, also very finely brunoised. This, we're going to go pretty heavy, give ourselves some nice flavor there. Then important for the color and also just to keep a little bit more delicate allium flavor in there. We have some very finely done chives. And then you can use some mustard. Mustard is very, very good for tartare. It adds a nice character. It also adds a little bit of acidity. Obviously, we're going with the French stuff. It's a French dish. And this is one of those that's very much up to the person. I tend to really like mustard. I like the acidity. I like the flavor. I'll give it like a good 1 1/4, 1 1/2 teaspoons. So now you'll start to mix this all up, making this nice paste here. At this point, you could add anything else you want. For the sake of keeping it classic, the only other thing I'm going to add, because I like the character that it brings, is a little bit of lemon juice. And when you're adding any citrus, if you add a little bit of the zest and the juice, you're just going to get a more complex character. You're just going to get more flavor. So get yourself a microplane. It's great for all kinds of things. And we'll just get a little bit of the zest in here. You don't need to be dragging this thing back on the microplane every time. Over time, you're just going to push all these nice little metal ridges and blades down, and it'll actually decrease how good your microplane is at working. Little tap. So now we're going to add also just a little bit of lemon juice with the egg yolk and everything. This effectively makes more of a vinaigrette, which I think complements the beef really well. If you've had beef tartare before and you have not been a fan, chances are they just didn't season it enough. And one of the shortcomings, I think, of traditional beef tartare has everything in the world going for it, but people don't add enough salt, they don't add enough acid. And so those little things make this a totally different experience. So we'll give this a little mix again. We now have our nice vinaigrette going, so we can add the beef and start to get everything seasoned. Add our beef here. Now that we have our beef in the bowl, we'll go ahead and get some salt. I have some Maldon sea salt here. This not only gives you some salt, it adds just a great texture. You get a little bit of that crunch. And don't be scared to salt it. Under-seasoned tartare is a crime against humanity. When you add the addition of the lemon juice, that'll also balance the salt a little bit. So you can be a little bit more aggressive. That's where chefs put their food. Very good. Should wash my hand now. I'm pretty liberal with my salt. We're putting it on potato chips. Like, they've got some salt to them too, you know? Is you want to pack the ring mold, but you don't want to push it down so tight. You're just pushing the liquid out onto the plate. It just looks a little suspect. we go. And there you have it. Classic beef tartare. Now, all that's left to do is add our crispy element. This can be fried anything. This can be toasted bread, chips. You can fry up your own chips if you want, or you can't. It's just whatever you feel like doing. Oh man, in good shape. I'm a fan of negative space, so I generally won't go all the way around and make a wreath. Fully plated beef tartare. Another hand-cut beef tartare here. Classic for a reason. It's like the best salad in the world because it's made out of meat. It's delicious. Summertime, sitting on a patio somewhere, get yourself a beef tartare. Make it. Go sit on your porch. Make a cocktail. Have a great life. Delicious.